Warren Buffett, the GOAT of investing. The man who turned a few couple $100,000 into a financial empire. But did you know his portfolio is not a secret? That's right, every quarter Buffett's company, Berkshire Hathaway, is legally required to spill the tea on what they are buying and selling. And guess what? You don't need to be a hedge fund. You don't need inside connections. The only thing you need is a Wi-Fi connection, Excel, and 10 minutes of your time. Today, I'm going to show you exactly how to track Buffett's portfolio like a pro, step by step. And yeah, this might just change the way you invest forever. So let's begin with the process. Step 1, find the 13F filing of the SEC. What is that? The 13F filing is a quarterly report required by the SEC, the Securities and Exchange Commission, which is the financial supervisor of the American stock market, that requires all institutional investors to disclose their positions so you can have an overall idea of what the market is actually liking and disliking. So how do we do that? The first thing you will have to do is go to Google and search for Berkshire SEC. And as you can see, you have the official website of the SEC.gov, Berkshire Hathaway Inc. You click here and you'll find all the disclosures, all the filings that they have to do in the Edgar system. And as you can see right here, we have 13F HR quarterly report filed by institutional managers. You have to click here on open filing, and this will look pretty weird, pretty ugly, but believe me, with Excel we can make this much more readable. And as you can see, information table for form 13F, you have an HTML link, which is basically a link in the internet. And it looks like this, pretty ugly, Ally, American Express, you have the value, but you want the allocation. So what do? We right click, save page as, and we can put something like example, Warren Buffett 4Q 2024. Why did I put 4Q 2024? Because the latest filing was from last year, the last quarter. So I'm gonna put right here the dates of when Berkshire Hathaway should disclose their quarterly reports of what they had at that moment. Now that you have that downloaded, go to Excel, open a new blank workbook, and here in data, click on get data from HTML, search for that document that you have downloaded, is it right here, and voila, you have it here. Still ugly, but you know, it is getting better. So we have the name of the issuer, let's put it simple, name. Title, we don't need that. CUSIP is the identification, we don't need that. Value, let's put it here, value. Shares, we don't care about the shares. We don't care if it's a pool, this other manager, and none of this stuff. So we're gonna select the whole table like this, all the way down. And we're gonna put insert pivot table in a new worksheet. So what do we want? We want the name. We click name, we put it in rows. What else do we want? We want the value. And as you can see, Excel automatically adds all the values. And here we can see how much Berkshire Hathaway has for each one of these stocks. This is not very useful. Why? Because you want the percentages. Because of course you will not have $267 billion in your brokerage account. Most of you, right? Okay, so how do we add an allocation column? First, you will have to duplicate the value on the left, and then we'll go to field settings, show data as, and it will be a calculation of column total. We put it allocation like this, and as you can see, we have now the percentages. If we want to check that this is working, you can go to, what is this? The sum of the value of Ally Financial Inc. with the grand total. We convert it to percentage, and as you can see, 0.39%, 0.39%. And finally, I usually like to sort the table from the highest allocation to the lowest allocation. How do we do that? We do sort by allocation, descending. And as you can see, we have Apple. We always knew Apple is his most heavy allocation. Then we have American Express, Bank of America, Coca-Cola, and all of that. And now we arrive to the juicy part. Now you have Warren Buffett's portfolio. We can start analyzing his thought process, what companies he believes have intrinsic value, and different things that can actually help you become a better investor. So first things first, you might be asking, there are like 1,000 web pages that do this automatically. Yes, you can search for them. Usually they are called 13F filing, and you search for Warren Buffett and they do this automatically for you to look up. But if you are someone like me that actually wants to analyze the data and has a little bit of trust issues with some web pages, and you want to actually find that information for yourself, then this video is pretty useful. But if you want to save all of this time, then you can go straight to whatever page you can find on the internet. But for those that want to do this process, there are a couple of things that we have to take into consideration. First, if we go to the top 10 holdings of his portfolio, we can see in the sum right here that the first 10 are about 90% of his portfolio. He's not out there gambling on 50 different stocks. He bets big on a few winners. And if you're expecting high risk startups, well, he doesn't have any of those. But wait, before you YOLO your life savings buying the things that you find in this portfolio, a few important warnings you have to consider. First, you have a 45-day delay between the filing and what he actually owns. So he could have already sold a position, he could have already bought another position. So don't think you are inside Warren Buffett's brain. This is a guide for you to look at patterns, understand new positions. So for example, in this latest filing, he bought Constellation Brands Inc. That's a new position. So it doesn't mean you have to buy it because he may have already sold it, but you can understand why did he bought it last December. Let's look at the financial, let's look at the management and the things that he usually analyzes in order to, understand his brain. But it's not something that you're like, okay, Constellation Brands, buy. That's not the course of action you should be taking. Second, Buffett doesn't pick every stock himself. Berkshire Hathaway has now more than one portfolio manager. So these positions that you see right here, the new ones or the things that have been sold, might have been decisions made by other portfolio managers and not Warren Buffett. So be careful. You are not looking at the secret sauce of only Warren Buffett now. There are other people involved that may have another investment philosophy that resembles Warren Buffett's, but have maybe sprinkles of their own personal beliefs, their own personal analysis. So you have to be very careful. Third, this strategy isn't for everyone. Buffett buys huge positions in companies for the long haul. If you're looking for quick flips or high growth startups, this probably isn't your game. But if you believe in long-term investing and you want to learn from the best, then tracking these 13F filings is one of the easiest, most effective ways to study the world's greatest investor. Also, remember, you shouldn't try to replicate his entire portfolio, because as you can see, there's a lot of positions that have less than 1% allocation. So some may want to, try to buy 0.01% in Leonard Corp. Let's assume Leonard Corp duplicates in value. Yeah, your portfolio overall has won about 0.02% in return. The important thing is looking at the top positions, the first 10, the first 20. Those are the 95% of his portfolio. So go ahead, download the 13F, analyze the data, and see for yourself how Buffett plays the game. And if you want me to break down other billionaire investors' portfolio, let me know in the comments. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next one. Ciao, ciao.